symbols carved into stone, ancient manuscripts written in code, rituals whispered in candlelit rooms, far from the eyes of the public. For centuries, one brotherhood has been both admired and feared, praised as visionaries and condemned as conspirators. Their emblem, the square and compass, is instantly recognizable, yet the true meaning of their order has remained shrouded in secrecy. This is the world of the Freemasons, a fraternity that has endured persecution, sparked revolutions, and ignited more conspiracy theories than perhaps any other society in history. But behind the myths, who are the Freemasons really, and what secrets do they guard so fiercely? The story begins in the heart of Paris, inside the walls of an unassuming building that hides a grand Masonic temple. Within its chambers, thousands of members gather, not only to uphold rituals passed down for centuries, but also to debate the great issues of society. These are men and women from all walks of life, lawyers, doctors, artists, politicians, united under a code of brotherhood, freedom of thought, and humanist values. To outsiders, the very idea of closed doors and secret ceremonies provokes suspicion. But to members, the secrecy is not about power. It is about trust, creating a space where ideas can be freely shared without fear of judgment or reprisal. What makes Freemasonry so captivating is not just the mystery of its symbols, but the weight of its history. This is a fraternity that has survived accusations of satanic worship from the Catholic Church, persecution under the Nazis, and relentless bans across Europe. Its lodges were once meeting grounds for revolutionaries and reformers, a place where dangerous ideas could be nurtured in safety. From the French Revolution to the birth of the American Republic, whispers of Masonic influence follow the turning points of modern history. Were they guiding hands toward liberty and democracy, or shadowy manipulators pulling strings behind the scenes? That is the question that has haunted them for centuries. Inside the Masonic temple, the architecture itself is a lesson in symbolism. Black and white checkered floors remind initiates of the eternal battle between light and darkness. Two great pillars, named Jachin and Boaz, stand as references to King Solomon's temple, the mythical birthplace of Masonic lore. Every apron, every gesture, every word spoken during their rituals carries a meaning, often more allegorical than literal. To some, the compass represents precision and the balance of reason. To others, it is a reminder of the cycle of life and death. Even the all-seeing eye, often linked in modern times to conspiracy theories about global domination, was once meant as a symbol of divine guidance or the pursuit of truth. But symbolism alone does not explain the fascination. What truly draws people to Freemasonry is its initiation, the promise that through ritual and reflection, one can undergo a personal transformation. This is not a church, yet its ceremonies feel spiritual. It is not a political party, yet it has influenced politics more than many official institutions. That duality, both worldly and mystical, both hidden and visible, is what has made Freemasonry both powerful and dangerous in the eyes of its opponents. Tracing their origins back to medieval stonemasons, the fraternity began as a guild of skilled craftsmen who worked with freestone, the fine limestone used in Europe's grand cathedrals. Over time, their gatherings expanded beyond labor to include philosophy, ethics, and even the great questions of existence. By the 17th century, many lodges admitted outsiders, aristocrats, scholars, and thinkers, who were not Masons by trade, but sought the fraternity's knowledge and connections. This shift from operative to speculative Masonry marked the birth of the society as we know it today, one less concerned with building cathedrals and more focused on building men's character. The year 1717 marked a turning point when 4 lodges in London united to form the first Grand Lodge. This was no longer just a guild, it was a structured society with ranks, rules, and leadership. Within a few years, noblemen and members of the Royal Society had joined, giving the Freemasons both wealth and intellectual prestige. From there, the movement spread rapidly across Europe and beyond, adapting to local cultures yet always preserving its secretive core. But secrecy comes with a price. When Pope Clement IV issued a decree in 1738 forbidding Catholics from joining the Freemasons, he painted the fraternity as a dangerous rival to the Church. This was the beginning of centuries of conflict between Freemasonry and religious authorities, conflicts that only deepened as Masonry spread Enlightenment ideals of liberty, equality, and secularism. For the Church, a society that proclaimed all religions equal was an existential threat. For monarchs, a network of freethinkers meeting in private rooms sounded dangerously close to rebellion. And rebellion did indeed follow. In France, Freemasonry became intertwined with Enlightenment philosophy and revolutionary fervor. Critics accused the Masons of fueling the French Revolution, of toppling kings and rewriting society. While historians argue over how direct their involvement truly was, one fact is undeniable. Many revolutionaries, from writers to politicians, were Masons. In America, too, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and countless other founding fathers were members, leading to the suspicion that the principles of the new republic itself were shaped in Masonic lodges. The truth, perhaps, is that Freemasonry is both more ordinary and more extraordinary than people imagine. Ordinary in that it is not the all-powerful cabal of conspiracy lore. Extraordinary in that it has endured for centuries, adapted through revolutions, survived persecution, and remained a beacon for those seeking meaning in ritual, symbolism, and fraternity. So the next time you see that square and compass, remember, it is more than a symbol of secrecy. It is a reminder of one of history's most resilient societies, a brotherhood that has lived in shadows, shaped nations, and captured imaginations for over 300 years. Whether admired or feared, one thing is certain: the Freemasons are not going away anytime soon. Their story is still being written. And their secrets? Well, those remain locked behind the doors of the lodge.